Hello and welcome to O2 Inside Line Live. I'm Monye and I'm thrilled to be joined at Twickenham today by Red Roses superstar Vicky Fleetwood.
Yes, Vic.
Vicky, the Red Roses are out in France at the moment and I know you would want to be there, but great to have your company today. How's your injury? How are you getting on, and when should we expect to see you back?
Yeah, so it's actually going really well. I've done quite a few running sessions, so I'm almost there, hopefully back in with club training kind of as of next week. So fingers crossed it's all going in the right direction, but I tore my hamstring tendon a number of weeks ago. So yeah, it's been a slow one, but getting there now.
Good stuff. Not only do we have Vicky Fleetwood, we've also been joined by a former teammate of mine and one of the brightest characters in the rugby world, Joe Marler. Joe Marler?
Looking as happy as ever.
Brilliant, brilliant. Do you know what? That's exactly why we pay him the big bucks. As soon as I was told I was going to get Joe Marler, I thought I'm going to either get 5 minutes of superb and brilliance and wit, or utterly nothing. And I'm getting nothing in at the moment, which is absolutely fine. But I did mention that the Red Roses are currently playing out in France. Can you give us a score update?
So they've actually just come out after half time. They went in 10-0. No, they wouldn't have been panicking with that.
Yeah.
It's always a tight one against France, and they've just got 2 tries in quick succession.
Brilliant.
So I'm sure Simon Middleton had given them a good talking to at half time, and they've come out all guns blazing.
Well, Red Roses on absolute fire at the moment. Of course, they're back-to-back Grand Slam winners, won that and picked up that trophy in Italy last week. Of course, we're here at Twickenham ahead of the first of the quarter internationals in the Autumn Nations Cup. And I hear you, what is the Autumn Nations Cup? It's quite simple. Think of the Six Nations plus Fiji and Georgia, and England take on Georgia a little bit later on. So if you've got any questions for Vicky, for Joe, or any of the gang, we're going to be with you today. Just leave a question in the comment section below. Joe Marler, how's that connectivity? How's that line getting on? Are you well? Joe, we've got you on to get some insight. How are you?
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad connection, and I'm still not actually due on until 25 past. So you've got a minute.
Okay, fair. I'll tell you what, we'll pay you overtime for coming on a little bit earlier. Joe, you've been in camp for the last few weeks. First of all, how's your injury? What is your injury, and when should we be seeing you back?
Not injured. Never had an injury.
Okay, I just made it up. Yeah, that's what I do.
Just made up because I wanted to spend more time with all my England teammates. And that's it really, mate. Yeah, I'm back fit, helping the boys, supporting the squad, and having a laugh.
Yeah, forever the team man, as I know all too well. You've been in camp.
You want to go down that route, do you?
No, I definitely don't. We'll save that. We'll take that off camera. Joe, you've been in camp the last few weeks. What's the mood been like?
Yeah, it's been really good actually, mate. I'll give you a serious media answer if you like, because for once it's actually the truth. And boys, there's definitely a sense of an extra privilege of being in the camp, being in the environment. To actually, we're one of a small group of people that can actually carry on being a little bit normal, doing our sort of day-to-day job, still doing our career in that lot, in this weird COVID coronavirus time. So it's been good. We're trying to make the most of it, and appreciating how lucky we actually are to be able to carry on with our day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, of
Look
course.
at that. That wasn't even scripted.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you know
script.
what? It almost felt like
Honestly,
you meant it.
it wasn't scripted.
It almost felt like you meant it as well. Tell me this. We've seen a brilliant blend over the last few weeks that Eddie Jones has brought together. We saw Ben Youngs get his 100th cap, but we also saw 4 new Test debutants. How the young lads settling in?
Yeah, it's nice actually to see all these young pups coming through now. It's nice because they bring that immediate energy that sometimes the old geezers are struggling with a bit, like how I was with you coming through. You know, you used to sap the life out of training sessions, but you know, you'd bounce off of me and stuff like that. I'd bring the energy, wouldn't I? You know, and now sort of roles are reversed, and I'm kind of looking to Ollie Lawrence to give a little bit more, or Alex Mitchell, and then it's also part of it. It's like I look around and I go, oh, I'm old. I got old quick. Me and Mako were sat there the other night, and we're looking around the room. We're like, oh my god.
Your hairline shows your age. To be fair, if we were to go by your hairline, you should have retired quite a few years ago, Joe.
Okay, you want this interview to continue, do you?
No, not really, actually. But what I would say is it's brilliant to see you and hear you. I'm glad that you're back fit. And for anyone
Vicky, it's lovely to see you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
She's just trying to keep it. She don't want to get involved in the crossfire of me and you. I'm just trying to get the very best out of you. You're talking about how it's a privilege.
I've got to go now. It's been lovely to speak to you. Vicky, lovely to see you.
Yeah,
all the
you
best.
too.
George Ford's coming in next. All the best.
Okay, and if you want to hear from Joe Marler, he also has a book out at the moment. It's called Looseheads, and it's available at all good bookstores. I mean, when you talk about characters, how good is it to have all these different characters come into a melting pot of England rugby?
Oh, definitely. And I totally feel his pain with the feeling old thing, with the 18-year-olds coming through. And we've also got, new caps that are in there. Helena Rowland, just 21, she's stepped in at that 10 shirt today. So, yeah, we've got loads of the kind of 18, 19, 20-year-olds coming through. And at 30, that definitely makes me feel old.
Fair play. You mentioned a new 10 in for the Red Roses. Let's speak to an old head in the 10 shirt for England rugby. It's George Ford. Fordy, how are you getting on? How's the injury? When are you back fit?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Coming on really well, actually. Pretty close to being back fully. So just last couple of days, ticking the last few boxes, and then should be good to go again.
Good man. Just trying to get some serious questions or answers out from Joe Marler. Didn't get any of that, but can you give an insight into what life's been like living in your bubble at the Lensbury over the last few weeks?
Yeah, it's been good. To be honest, it was like all over in a bubble. It's not been too different to what normal camp life would be like. We're pretty full on 24 hours a day anyway. I suppose the main difference would be on the afternoon off, not being able to pop out, or for example, when it's game day, your family's not being able to come and watch, which is unfortunate, but just the way it is at the minute. But we've got a great setup at the Lensbury. The boys are working hard to making sure that there's some good enjoyment around the place, and it's been good up to yet.
Really liking the look of the team. We're going to talk through that in a minute with Vicky. But who's been bringing the energy? That's often been you, part of that leadership group. Tell us, who's been setting the standards and driving that energy in the build-up for what should be a really good game today?
Yeah, well, obviously it is an exciting team. There's a fair amount of experience in that team still, but you look at someone like Jack Willis making his debut, the way he's trained and the way he's got stuck into things from minute one, him coming to camp, has been pretty impressive. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes in the back row lower. And like you said, there's Ollie Lawrence, he's starting his first game at centre. So Owen's been massive on the inside of him, making sure that he's ready to go. And Elliott's back at fullback as well. I think he'll make a huge difference today, Elliott at 15, to give maybe the team a little bit more communication, so that people like Johnny and JJ can get the ball in their hands.
Lovely stuff. Fordy, great to hear that you're back fit. Thank you for joining us on O2 Inside Line, and enjoy the rest of your day. Vicky, it's really interesting what George Ford's talking about there, how some of those older heads are helping the development of some of the new caps. The Red Rose in a bit of transition period, got the World Cup to look forward to in 2021. What's the health of that Red Roses squad?
I think it's very similar. We've got, some of those girls that are uncapped, that are in the training camps kind of week in, week out, especially leading up to the final Six Nations game and these last two games that we've got in these
it's a friendly,
autumns, whatever they are.
It's a friendly, but never friendly.
Yeah. There's girls that have been coming in from the sevens. Obviously, been away with sevens all last season, and a couple of the girls are stepping up today, playing first caps, second caps, and players that haven't played for a long time, especially the likes of Laura Keats as well, on the bench, hasn't played in an England shirt for 3 years or so. She actually ruptured her Achilles a couple of months before the World Cup in 2017, so it's really nice to see her back. So I'm hoping that she gets some good game time today.
Yeah, great to see her back, and it's great to see this Angel of the North back. He's back in the big time. Welcome back to the Gallagher Premiership, Mark Wilson. How are you getting on? All right?
Yeah, good mate, good to see you. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. You've got, we'll talk about England in a second, but for you and for Newcastle Falcons, I mean, you've got yourself and you've got Sale Sharks representing the north of England. How excited are you getting back into the big time next week?
Yeah, it's been great to be back at Newcastle, and the boys are really excited to get started against Bath next week. There's a genuine excitement, do you know what I mean, to be back in the Premiership. It's been a long time. It feels like an absolute age since we were back playing there. So yeah, the lads are buzzing for it.
I'm sat here with Vicky Fleetwood. Not only is she a brilliant rugby player, but also a fantastic fitness guru. Whenever I look at you, I always feel like I need to ask if I can see your triceps. Famous for them. Have you got a t-shirt on? Can you just give us a little flex, please? Just one of them.
I've got the jacket on now.
But you're looking.
For sure.
You're looking really well. Someone who's been looking really well as playing very well is Jack Willis, Premiership Player of the Season. How impressed have you been with him this season?
Oh, it's been brilliant. I think the energy he's brought into camp has been. I think the biggest compliment I can give him is probably the fact that he looks like he's been here for years. Do you know what I mean? And he's only been here 2 weeks in camp. So incredibly enthusiastic. The amount of energy he brings to training and around the place is credit to himself. And the lads are really excited to see him go and rip in this weekend.
Yeah, he's part of a formidable England forward pack today. We've got Maritoji slipping into that 6th role. Is that an indication of where you think Eddie Jones is really trying to set his stall out today?
I think the great thing is putting Maro in the back row, is just having that extra line-out option. And obviously his work around the breakdown is one of the best in the business as well. So, the threat that we have today with him and Jack, over the ball is going to be a big challenge for Georgia. Yeah,
it should be a cracking game. Mark Wilson, it's great to see you. Mate, good to have you and Newcastle back in the big time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're just chatting with Mark just about the squad. We focus on the forward pack, but if we bring up Eddie Jones' squad, which he named earlier in the week, who are the headline names that stand out for you?
So I think, like the boys have just said, Jack Willis is obviously a big one, getting the starting shirt for his debut. He's been fantastic for Wasps kind of all season, and I think it would be really exciting to see how he goes in an England shirt as well. Ollie Lawrence bringing that power into the midfield, kind of that Manu-esque kind of role, as we've kind of not seen a centre kind of in that role for the last kind of few seasons. So it would be really nice to see how he goes as well.
It certainly is. I've got to say, it feels like a real privilege to be. I know Joe Marler was taking the mick earlier on, but we can just see just over to the left the England players just warming up. We've got the Georgians in their little huddles. I mean, there are no fans here, and it's a massive shame. But it's great to be so close, if you know what I mean. It's great. Yeah. But we'll give you a little score update from France. The England Red Roses are up 24 points to 10. Jessie Breach also got on a score sheet. She's a phenomenal athlete, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. So she used to be a hurdler, like myself.
She?
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, so we've come back across to rugby. So she started rugby at an early age, went to do athletics, and then came back to rugby. And yeah, she's an absolute class finisher, one of England's finest.
Certainly is. Georgia, formidable challenge for them today, playing against England this time last year. We'll be preparing for a World Cup final. What's your expectations from Georgia?
So I think we talk about, they're massive up front, and that's something that they're known for. They're the giants of the Tier 2 nations, and they'll be coming out ready to set a stall to show to everyone what they can bring. And there's been speculation around how that potentially they should be taking Italy's spot in the Six Nations. So actually, the fact that they've got an opportunity to play against those Tier 1 nations over the next few weeks, then that can kind of really show what they're about.
Yeah, massive challenge for Georgia. We wish them well today. We wish, of course, our England team really well as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. A massive thanks to Vicky Fleetwood. If you do want to follow all of the scores, of course, you can follow England Rugby on Twitter as well as Instagram, and the Red Rose, I've got to say, they're on BBC Two, terrestrial TV for women's rugby is absolutely massive. Any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and we'll see you after the game. Thank you once again for joining us. Enjoy the game.